Hi guys, welcome to another Sunday night stream with me, Peter, from downtown Bangkok. I just want to go to one of the later comments to read this out. Somebody just asked me, who was it? There we are, Huggy Bear. He says, is it still hot in Thailand? Well, put it this way, Huggy Bear, even the Thais are complaining it's too hot. I know Thais who won't go out in the afternoon because it's too hot. Yeah, it's really, really hot at the moment. You're talking around 40 degrees. I don't know what that is. That's Fahrenheit, I think, the other way around. It's real hot. And in fact, I don't have a problem with the heat normally, but I'm finding it incredibly hot. It's got to be down to global warming, hasn't it? Look what happened in Dubai a couple of days ago. They had flash floods, and even the airport was underwater. So something's awash, as it were. Just say a quick hi to Damien. You're off with the dog. It's a shame, Damien, because Franco won't be in till later, so I'm going to have to keep my fingers crossed that everyone behaves themselves tonight. But anyway, we've got over 100 in already, so let's start saying hello to everyone. The bar girl that made Pattaya famous. Well, I know who that is, and I'm not going to read them comments out. Chris, I'm glad you're around, mate. You're the only moderator in tonight, so please keep your eyes peeled. Still have a few idiots out there. Super nice, how you doing? Geezers. Good day, Peter, and all the mongers. N20 in the house. Good evening to you. Donald Trump, how you doing? Donald Trump, should I save it till later or do it now? I'm going to do it now, and I'll do it later again. Now, a guy called Martin, let me just get his next name, because he made a little video for me, and a lot of you would have already seen it already on various platforms, but I want to give him a shout out because he did this for me, or he did it. Martin Fenwick. Okay, so big shout out to Martin Fenwick who put this together. It's about 10 seconds, but it's so funny. Just have a, you might have seen it, but if you haven't, you'll love this, and I'll play it again later.
Nobody parties Bangkok like me. I touch down, taxi directly to Nana Plaza, don't even drop my bags at the hotel, down 6 bottles of Chang immediately. I'm the best Chang drinker, everybody knows that.
I've got to stop it there because it goes on a little bit more, but it gets pretty filthy, and the video will get demonetized. But I'll play the full version in the members area, in the members stream, because if that gets demonetized, I don't mind so much because it's smaller numbers. But so funny, and thank you, Martin, for sharing that. And I've got another one he sent specifically about my channel, and very, very clever what AI does these days. There was a question. Let me just see if I can find this one as well. Somebody said it was about another channel telling stories. Who was it who left that? Right, okay, Chris, you said, did you watch the interview by Irish Times about the other Farang YouTube storyteller? I haven't, Chris, but you know what? There's so many of them popping up now. I've had to report several to YouTube for just stealing stories from my channel. I've been going for 5 years, right? And people just jump on the bandwagon. A lot of people out here now retired and stuff, and they just try, a bit of extra money. They see an idea that they think is going to work, and it's easy. It's not easy. It's a lot of work. And but I'll go off and have a look at it tomorrow. Is it going to upset me? All right. I have watched Irish Times before. He does interviews, doesn't he? Who was saying that? Right. Dan, no name. Hi, how are you doing? Right, there's a question for you there. No name. Do you remember the Cambodian shop owner Joy that had her bar as you walked into the covered alleyway from Soy 5 to 7? Some refer to it as Soy Blade Runner. Yeah, I remember Soy Blade Runner very, very well, because when you went, that was an alleyway that connected where Foodland is on Soy 5 through to Soy 7, and it was always stiflingly hot in that alleyway because there was no airflow. It was covered, and there was girls having their nails done in little shops, and all these different little shops. And that was a time in the early days before the internet really took off. You'd have some of the bar girls would be in there sending messages to their boyfriends and stuff. I don't actually remember the Cambodian shop owner. I mean, we're going back a long time ago, but I do certainly remember the name Blade Runner, that alleyway there. You got a good memory. Anders Bergman, how you doing? Finally some real Sunday entertainment. Well, thank you so much, kindly sir, appreciate that. Prince Fergus, good morning, Peter and everyone. Ryan Seager, hello, Peter and the Mongers. I had another complaint in the week again after last week's stream. Somebody said, look, why do you waste the first 20 minutes, half an hour saying hello to everybody? Everybody knows who I'll just get on with it. But the whole point of a live stream is, before I had a live stream, if somebody read my name out, I think, well, he read my name out. I mean, it's about community, isn't it? So, if you're one of those guys who don't like me saying hello to everyone, come back in half an hour. I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm not going to stop saying hello to everyone, as I will say hello to Matthew Olcone. Hello, Peter. Looking forward to today's live. Thank you, Matthew. Good to see you in. Glenn, good morning from Toronto. Thai Billy Boy, good afternoon, Peter. Greetings and everyone. You probably want to know what the currencies are doing at the moment, so let's have this in the background. I've just taken them off Google today, so they're quite up to date. Now I've lost my place. There we are. Real Rennie. Good morning, Peter, and everybody else. Finally caught a live stream live, and the sun is lovely in Copacabana. It's such a romantic name, isn't it? Copacabana takes you back to the era of Barry Manilow and that sort of thing. 70s, wasn't it? Paul Hoskins. Thank you, Paul. Good morning from, I think it's Radarin, is it? Apologies if I get your name wrong. You won't be the first, and you certainly won't be the last. Paul Hoskins, there's not a cloud in the sky, and it's 14 beautiful. So 14, you're in the UK, aren't you, Paul? It's good that you're getting some good weather, but you want to try 40, blistering hot. It's so hot, it's actually making the skin. I'm having problems with my skin. I'm wearing a cap now every day. I only used to wear a cap for the videos. Stephen James, relief from the heat. Yeah. It's okay. You've got aircon in your apartment and stuff, but you can't live in your apartment. You've got to go out sometimes, haven't you? I'm going to go out and do a video tomorrow, and I'll have a bit of a walk on that one. So, yeah. Dog Grink, good morning. Aussie rules, 9 p.m. in Bangkok, 90 degrees, 32 centigrade. So there you go. It's not just me saying, and this is at 9 o'clock at night. So you can imagine at midday, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. And I'm not whinging about the weather. I love the hot weather, much better than being in the cold weather in England when it's cold. But, when Thai people tell you, look, it's too hot in the day, I'm not going out, it's hot. Jess, how are you doing? Yeah, made it. Unfortunately, my work starts at the same time as this stream. So if I'll be able to interact much. Peter, stay cool, my friend. And look, and folks, be sure to give this man some thumbs up. Thank you very much, Jesse. Oh, nice compliments tonight. I've had some amusing comments in the week, let's put it that way. Super Bro, is this a Thailand bound stream? That kind of gives it away there, but yes, it is, being sarcastic there. Thai Billy Boy, thank you. Kelly Harnett, good in Vancouver. How is it there? Yeah, weather again, 40 degrees. We're coming up to the rainy season now, so we've had a little bit, not too much, but what are we now? We're coming towards the end of April. Soon the skies are going to open up, and when they open up here, it's just torrential. I mean, if you've never seen anything like it, it will flood a street in literally 10 minutes. I carry one of these plastic Macs that the Thais wear. You get them from 7-Eleven for, I think, the 41 baht. But I'm quite a big guy, and Thais are quite small, so the plastic, it's kind of like with a hood. It's just like a plastic bag, but it's a full body kind of coat. But because it sticks to me, I'm hot. Even though it's rains, it's still humid and hot. And but it keeps you dry. That's the best thing. I remember about 2 years ago, I came out of Nana Plaza, and it was at 2 o'clock. It closed. And I come out of this go-go bar, I was by myself, and the skies had just opened up, absolutely chucking it down with rain. And I had one of these things, because they're only about the size of a packet of cigarettes flat, in my pocket. And everybody in Nana Plaza didn't want to walk outside because it was so heavy. So they kind of hid under all the little bits of roof. But I just slid mine on and walked out. And yeah, it was great. By the time I got home, my shoes were absolutely soaked, but the rest of me was fine. Good tip there in the rainy season. Carry one of those plastic Macs in your back pocket. They fold to nothing, Dog, how you doing? Yep, it's Super Bro. Yeah, okay. Philip Bradshaw, morning from Dallas. How you doing, Philip? Roberto 2000 in Thailand now, mate. Okay, good stuff. I'm sure you'll enjoy yourself. Let's just get rid of this and put that up later. Okay. Right, Boohoo. Saying hi to Matthew Cartwright. Mr. Superstar, greetings, Peter and viewers. Trip on 2 wheels. Hello, Peter. Moving to Chiang Mai. Yeah, Chiang Mai is nice, but not in the burning season. Even the Thais move out in the burning season. When they set the fields alight, it's so bad pollution. They are trying to do something about it. Richard O, hi, Peter. How you doing? I'm doing fine, thank you. Matthew Cartwright. Afternoon, Peter and Mongus. Currently in Beijing. Okay. I did some work in Beijing, but long time ago in the 90s. Philip Bradshaw, morning from Dallas. I've gone the wrong way, haven't I? Okay, Thailand found. Haven't seen you for a while. Hi, Peter, and hope everyone is well. Okay. Chris. Okay, I've read that right at the beginning, didn't I? So, Chris, when you left that, if you're still there, when you left that message, you're saying, "Did I see the interview?" What was he interviewing him about? Is he just asking him about his channel, or was he comparing to other channels? Because I haven't got a clue. I don't even know who the guy is. Okay, Matthew, hi. Ken Christopherson, hi Pete, from a sunny but cold Denmark, 7 degrees. Ooh, 7 degrees, yeah. I do miss the cold weather sometimes. You know, the thing about the UK, I don't miss, you know, those days where it's rainy and grey. I don't miss that at all. But when you, between kind of like October, November, it gets that, they call it autumnal weather, where the sky's perfectly blue and you come out in the morning, it's like real good fresh air. The pollution here, guys, it's absolutely, you know, I'm seriously thinking about moving out of Bangkok. Let me show you what the pollution is today. Right. So the safe level in Europe is, I think it's 35 PI. I think they call it PI, the number. Here in Thailand, it's 50. When I was in Koh Samet last week, it was 4. And then in Rayong, it was 8. But in Bangkok, check this out. It'll probably change. It was 159. There we are. It's gone down slightly. So that's the pollution level today. 137, and that's come down about 20, right? Bearing in mind the safe limit here is 50 or under, and above that it says Thailand heat wave on the way. Well, if it's on the way, I don't know what we're having at the moment because it's damn hot. Macmillan Nurse 1. Hey, Peter, just returned from Bangkok and Pattaya. Peter, what is with the new £2 charge for ice? It's crazy. I've never heard of it. Look, to be honest with you now, I don't know why people say that. To be honest with you, it refers like you normally lie, don't you? And this time you're being honest. I have to stop saying that. I don't know about this £2 charge. I'm guessing if you, what is it? You buy a bottle of whiskey or something and mixers, and if you want ice, they charge you £2. I mean, they're taking the piss basically. I've never heard of them doing it before, but I don't go out to kind of go places anymore. You know, I'm in Pattaya, I go out to a few bars, but maybe you can explain it a little bit more. It just seems like they're getting really greedy in the bars now. And it's got to the point now where I just won't pay those prices. I mean, it's ridiculous. You know, people who come here for the first time, it's all new to them and it's still fairly cheap compared to what they'd pay back home, or they can't get what they get here back home. So they kind of run with it. But for me, it's just, you know, the things they're charging for now and the prices, it's just ridiculous. Dean, it's still fairly cheap to live here, but if you're in that environment, Pattaya is still very cheap. You get good deals down in Pattaya, but here in Bangkok, it's just, you know, it's expensive. Dean is saying, good evening, Peter, and all tonight. How you doing? Randy, PA Comanche, good morning, Peter. Getting close to my move. Yeah, you're coming out here as well, aren't you? A lot of Americans moving out here at the moment. I speak to the visa agent in Pattaya that I now use. I know them very well, Mark and Pom. Very, very good. I'm going to make a video about them soon. I'll go down there and film their office. But I was talking to Mark recently, and he said he's doing a lot of visas for Americans at the moment. I don't know what it is. It's a big country, I suppose, and I suppose a lot of them want to come out here. Naughty boy, evening, Peter, gents and ladies. Yep, how you doing? Aussie Rose. Bangkok reached high of 103. That's 39 centigrade. I heard somewhere like on TNT or something that it was 40, but 39 is close enough, right? I did tell you I'd let you know how the diet's going. You know, I went to the doctors and he said lose some weight, and I'm now making a serious effort. I don't know if you can see a slight change in the old face there. The chops are going down slightly. So at my worst here, I was 110 kilos. You'll have to convert, the Americans, you'll have to convert it because you still use pounds, right? So at my worst, I was 110. And then I stabilized off to 108. And I've been 108 for about a year here in Bangkok now, and went to the doctors and everything. He said, you know, try and lose some weight. I've cut out most of the carbohydrates, not all of them. So I've been on the diet for about 3.5 weeks now, but take out 3 days when I was down on Koh Samet and Rayong. I tried to stick to it, but you're on holiday, you know, and you just think sod it. So let's say 3 weeks. In 3 weeks, I've lost about 5.5 kilos. I'm now just over the 102 mark. So 102 point, I think it was 75 this morning because I had a couple of beers last night, and that's the worst thing you can have. So I think tomorrow morning, because I've gone easy today, I think I should hit 102 in the next couple of days. So once I hit 102, I'm 6 kilos down. My goal is 90 kilos. That's another 12 kilos to do. And I think I'll do it, but I'll probably have to go out and buy a new wardrobe because everything will look like a tent on me, won't it? Let me just say thank you to It's Up To You. Thank you for that super chat. Hi, Peter. Hope you're enjoying the heat. It's still freezing here. Have a cold one on me. I'll be there next week. If I see you. Mine's a Chang. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Let me know when you're here. If I'm free, I'll meet up with you. But, you know, like I keep saying many times, I meet a lot of guys, but unfortunately, a lot of guys, I just can't meet them because I'm not here, or I'm busy, or I'm out filming, or here editing. Also, Chris there. Hi, Peter. I hope you're well, mate. Thank you for that. I'll get a beer for you as well, Chris. Thank you. You're back, Franco. Franco's in back again. Right. Okay. Glad you're back, Franco. Right. Okay. I'll just say a quick hi before I go back up to the comments because I jumped a load of comments there. I'll just say hi to Martin Ryder. No plans to travel. Wife has put her foot down. Looks like camping in Dorset. If I'm lucky, life's over. I met Martin's not his real name, but I won't give out his real name here. But I met Martin on Soy 8. We met in Monsoon. We had a meal. I sat and talked with him for a couple of hours. I was going to stay for about an hour, but you know, he's quite an interesting guy. We come from a similar area, and yeah, this is one of the guys I met who you know, I met. We had lunch. We had a good laugh about things, and I won't tell you his little secrets, or I might get him in trouble. But yeah, always good to meet viewers here. That's very generous of you, Nate. Great channel, Peter. Any funny stories lately? Thank you. That's very generous of you. $20 basically, $20. Let me think. Any funny stories? There's a lot of stories about Farangs behaving badly. I won't start reading out stories yet because we got 221. I'll tell you what I'll do. Let me say hello to a few more people. I've got a lot of stuff prepared here, and I've got some interesting stuff. Yeah, so I'll come back to you on that one, Nate. Okay. Let me just go way back up here. Okay, I'm a bit behind by the looks of it. What we know, 1922. Okay, look, guys, if I go right, I'm going to have to just miss some of these comments because I'm way behind, and if I go back, it's going to take all night to read them out. Right, okay, I know where I am now. Jason Finch. Peter, what about Marley? Same answer as always. She's busy. I can't get hold of her. You know, she does a lot of work. Anton, cheers. I'll be there next week. Seeing 40 degrees there. Oh, my God. Yeah, it's hot, Anton. Klong, Andy. I'm surprised you're not in a vest. I was running at 4 a.m. this morning at 31 centigrade and a clammy 85 humidity. A lot of guys who are retired out here, they get up at 5 in the morning. They go to the park at 6 and they say it's quite cool. I'm just not a morning person. You know, I get up about 9, something like that. Be happy, Pat. Hi, Peter from France. There's a lot of lives today, but you're closer to my age and better comments. Okay, thank you. Be happy, Pat. I didn't realize there was a lot of lives on Sunday. I know Trevor does one around lunchtime, morning, doesn't he? And then you got Nick Dean does one in the afternoon. Jason Finch, Peter, what about? Okay, I've read that. Philip Bradshaw, hi. Daniel Rubinetti. Always takes me a few seconds to get your name. Hi, Peter. Excruciatingly hot, bad air too. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I'm thinking of moving out of Bangkok. I'm seriously giving it some thought because of the pollution and the heat. You know, at least if you go to a coastal town, you get a bit of breeze off the sea, don't you? Yeah, that's your end, naughty boy. Lips don't correspond with his words. Don't forget, there will be a slight delay in it. It's a live stream. It's not a recording, is it? I don't have a monitor to check it out, but I can't do anything about it other than end the stream and start again. I'm not going to do that. Kurt Eric Monroe, greetings, Peter. Great to be here. Great to have you in, Kurt. Remy, bonjour, Peter from Dijon, France. A lot of generous people tonight. Somebody's just Randy, thank you very much. Never been to Thailand during the rainy season. Can you define the timelines? What is the coolest time of the year? The coolest time of the year, which is the reason why we have high season, is basically from the end of October till the end of January. That's when it's the most coolest here, or it's supposed to be. It hasn't been that cool this year. We had a couple of weeks. But we'll get the rainy season now, but it's still hot. And the rain obviously doesn't come at the same time every day for the same length of time. Sometimes it'll rain all day relentlessly. A lot of days you'll get an hour from, say, 6 till 7 or 4 till 5, and that's it. You won't get any more. But if you want to come when it's cool, anytime between right at the end of October to the end of January, and then the temperature starts. The difference between the third week of January and the second week in February in temperature change is incredible, Randy. Absolutely incredible how fast it goes up. Okay. Barry from EastEnders, which area of Bangkok are you living in, Peter? I'm living in Sukhumvit, quite close to the Nana BTS, but obviously I'm not gonna give out my address, but quite close to there. Let me go up and just get some of these I've missed out. There we are. Toby Price, the soy between 5 and 7 used to be full of ladyboys. Yes, correct. That's another reason I didn't like going through there. Current exchange is looking good. It's come down a little bit. It was 46 last week on the pound. It's 45 now. Colin Moore, hi Peter, hi all. I'm struggling. Dog, people love to complain for nothing. It's just insane. Yeah. Bob, how you doing? Glad you're in the stream for a while anyway. Talk to you later. Green Tree, hello. Kelly Harnett, I like 35 to 37 degrees. Does 40 seem much hotter? It does seem much hotter, you know, because a lot of the time in Thailand, it's kind of like around the kind of middle 30s, 34, 33, 36. But, you know, 40 degrees, 39 degrees, it's just that straw on the camel's back, you know, it's just that extra heat. It's just terrible. Triangle Hey from Vietnam, great name. Green Tree, hello Peter, hello from everybody in Europe. CT, Peter, looks like Thai Talk with Dan might be sending you a story soon. His ex has just gone on Irish Times. Okay, all right. Any stories are welcome. Very similar channel. No name, maybe outside, not so much in the alleyway mentioned. Naughty boy, sorry, I think it's funny how everyone thinks it's so hot. Okay, well, it's not cool, is it? It certainly isn't cool. Barry from East End, which area bank? I've read that. Right, let's jump down a few more. Cheese Tomato Sandwich, love your channel. Thank you, Cheese and Tomato Sandwich, great name. Colin Moore, the Irish Times just interviews storytellers, just the type you meet in seedy sidebars, so obvious they are catching up. Okay. I mean, it used to annoy me a little bit when I come across other channels that were literally blueprinting what I was doing. But at the end of the day, it's YouTube. I haven't got sole ownership of, you know, to be able to upload videos and nobody else can. Everybody's free to do their own thing, isn't it? What I don't like is when people steal stories that people have sent in to me. I had one guy, I had a guy write to me. Here's something interesting. I had a guy write to me and he said, look, do you realize this guy's one of my views? He said, do you realize this guy's stealing stories from your channel? And I was like, well, I can't match it up because I've got so many stories from 5 years on mine. I'll never be able to find it. So he sent me the one that he'd stolen and this one, and I complained to YouTube, and obviously they didn't like it. They you know, they give him, I don't know if they give him a strike or whatever, but his justification for reading out this story was that it belonged to the author, not to me. Well, at the end of the day, the guy who wrote it sent it in to me and give me permission to read it out. He didn't say anybody who's got a channel who wants to read out stories can pluck it off the internet. It doesn't work like that, does it? And that kind of annoys me a little bit. Triangle hat. Oh, yeah, okay, we've done that one. Paul Hoskin, if it's that best to go commando, keep the sausage cool. Okay, that is illegal here, Paul, believe it or not. No underpants. Dan the man from Songkran, how you doing? Robert Barakan Lens, that's a difficult one for me to say. Hello, buddy. Greetings from North Bergen, is it? Or Bergen, New Jersey, USA. Sergeant Bobby B. Good to have you in the stream. Huggy Bed. Peter, do you have any trips away from Bangkok planned? I do. I've decided next year I'm going to leave Thailand during Songkran because I just can't stand it anymore. You know, when I was young here, I used to love it. I go down to Patpong with an electric water pistol and we'd be having fun. And, you know, but I've got to the point in life now where it's old hat. I've done it. I've been there. It was fun. And I don't want to sound like a kind of boring guy now, but, you know, it just doesn't do anything for me. I go out. I want to go and buy something from Terminal 21. I get a bucket of water thrown over me and then I go into a mall soaking wet. I basically kept myself to myself in my apartment for the whole of Songkran, used the swimming pool upstairs. But I've decided next year I'm going to find a country in Thailand, in Southeast Asia that doesn't have Songkran, because a lot of them do. I'm just going to book a trip away for 3 or 4 days and I'll make some videos while I'm there. So I'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And I might do something before then. Somebody invited me to Vietnam and I've never been there. I would like to go. Robert, you're hoping to visit Thailand one day. You should. It's a good place to visit. No name. There's used to be many back in the 90s and 20s. Okay. Naughty boy, anything under 24 DC is cold. Chris, the interview was the ex-girlfriend of Thai Talk with Dan. Always 2 sides. Yeah, it's true. 2 sides to the story. Right. Simon Mealin, the interview is with other YouTuber. Okay, I've read that, haven't I? Super bro. Which is better? But Nana Plaza or Soy Cowboy? Good question. So that's really down to the individual. I can't say, well, this one's better than that one. For instance, if I go out, I prefer Soy Cowboy to Nana Plaza, because Nana Plaza is just, it's like industrial. It is actually, that's the right word to use. I can't say that, you know what they do there, but it's on an industrial scale. It's just get in, give us your money, get out. Next one, please. Whereas yeah, everywhere's like that. But Soy Cowboy's a bit more laid back. And I just prefer the atmosphere. You talk to another guy who's maybe 20 years younger than me, he's going to say Cowboy's boring. I'd rather be in Nana Plaza, 100 girls on stage. It's horses for courses. Robert, hello, Peter. What's the best place to live in Thailand? I can't answer that, Robert, because, again, it depends on what sort of a person you are. If you're a party, 6 days a week party person, you want to be in Pattaya, don't you, in the bars? If you want a nice, quiet, cheap way of living here, you want to be in a village in Isan. For me personally, I would like to live in Hua Hin. I can't at the moment for reasons I can't give up. My YouTube channel is one of the reasons. It's a long story. I can't explain it here. But if everything was right in the world, I wouldn't live in. I do like Bangkok, but the pollution is driving me crazy. It does worry me about I'm breathing this in. I like to walk in the park. So if I had a choice right now, Patty's a bit too in my face. Jomtyen's okay, but there's a lot of Russians there now. That puts me off. So Hua Hin's quite a nice town, and I'd like to live there one day. Okay, Sophia, good to if it is a girl. Hello, Mr. Peter. Mr. Peter, I like that. That's fine. Miss Sophia, thank you. Hello, Mr. Peter. I'm a girl in Brazil who enjoys watching your channel. That's really good. That's made my night, that has, because I do have female viewers, especially on the stories. I get stats at the back of YouTube, and they tell me the ratio of females and guys. And basically, my viewers are about 94% guys, and about 93% of them are mongas, and about 6% are girls. But I always assumed that the women would watch for the stories because they're quite interesting. That's what I've heard in the past. But yeah, it's good to have you in, Sophia. Thanks for joining us in the stream today. I hope the guys keep it clean tonight. Right, Daniel, Peter, I'm thinking of moving out to Bangkok as well. Pollution is very, very bad, and it's not getting any better. Let's give it to the rainy season. The rainy season's around the corner. It should clean up the air. The fires should stop in the north. Let's see how it goes. If it was like this full time, I'm in agreement with you. Shane, go-go bars are terrible these days, and some of them don't have good-looking ladies. And that will lead me straight in to two separate stories I want to read out. Okay? So you're talking about... I'll just leave your comment up there for a while for people to look at while I have a little sip on this, hopefully clean water. Okay, so I've got 2 points of view here. I'm going to read you out a short, so it's all on old school paper. I'm going to read you out a short comment that I got from a guy in the week, and I've got no reason to doubt him. And I'm going to read out a little story that was overlooked by most of the news media. So it's yin and yang, positive and negative. Okay, so this is the first. You can leave your comments on this, right? Is somebody... no, I've read that out, haven't I? Right, so somebody... First of all, the bad comment, right? So somebody wrote this to me. He says, all the staff in bars talk about respect for... Let me start again. All the staff in bars talk about and respect farangs about as much as sewer rats. There's more scammers in Thai bars than any other place on the planet. 98% of those customers have no idea what they say about foreigners. I speak Thai. Andy San, in my advice is if you don't want to keep going to bars, if you want to keep going to bars having fun, don't learn the languages. They even laugh about their Farang sponsors committing suicide. It's disgusting, and I'm done with the bar scene. I'm not spending money in a greedy, racist, ruthless environment. There's scammers throughout the world, but only over there they actually enjoy doing it. Now, he was specific, bars and go-go bars, and it is ruthless. It's absolutely ruthless. You take your dentures out, the gold will be gone out your fillings when you put them back in. Now, let me turn that coin over and read another. Now, this is nothing to do with bars, but it's Thai people, okay? And there's always two sides to the story. So this is something to take on board, and you can tell me what you think, okay? So this is an article from the Bangkok Post, and it's about a month old or so. And this is a true story, okay? About a young Australian couple of backpackers who got held up at gunpoint at one of the... that's very rare here, by the way, but one of the bus terminals. Let me just read the article. It's quite short, and then you can see the difference in the entertainment areas, what he was talking about, and normal Thai people. You can make your own mind up, right? So there was a news story a month ago that made a splash in the Thai press, but went under the radar here in the English language news world. It happened at a southern bus terminal in Taling Chan, hope I said that right, and involved two Australian tourists who were robbed at gunpoint of their belongings. The tourists, a young backpacking couple, I've lost my place now. Hang on. So a young backpacking couple ended up at the terminal penniless, sitting in the gutter, the girl crying her eyes out. The strangest part of this story, however, was not the attack. It was the reaction from the Thais at the bus terminal. A food seller gave them something to eat and drink without charging them. Meanwhile, a taxi driver pulled over and, upon hearing the story, offered to take the two to the Australian embassy on Saturn Road for free. Another man gave them 500 baht. The Australian couple were soon on their way to the embassy, and that is where the story comes to an end. So the whole point of reading them two stories out, excuse me, on the one hand, you've got these ruthless scammers in the bars. Not all bars, I'm sure there's some honest bars, are just hard to find, right? And on the other hand, you know, here's a couple who were robbed by criminals that you get everywhere in the world, and regular Thai people have seen what have happened and offered them food, offered to take them to the embassy. Some guys giving them 500 baht, so at least they can start, you know, a process. And it's great to hear things like that. And when you hear a story like a real negative thing like that, yeah, it goes on, but it always gives me faith back here in Thailand again when I hear stories like that, because I've met some very, very honest Thais. I told you the story quite a few times here now, very, very quickly. I had 20,000 baht in a bum bag, 20,000, got back to I was living at the Omni Tower at the time, thought it was zipped up. I was waiting for the elevator and I was swinging it stupidly, got up to the room, thought nothing of it, phone call to the room. Mr. Peter, are you missing any money? Yes, Kun Peter, right? Went downstairs, how much is it? Looked at my bum bag, panicked, 20,000 baht gone, put it on the counter, called the maid who was cleaning the lift. She said, oh, this girl found it and handed it in. I couldn't believe it. I gave her the 1,000. I gave her 1,000 baht as a reward. I wish I'd have given her 2,000 baht. You know, so don't if you know, don't assume that all Thais are like all greedy and they're going to stiff you. And yeah, there's certain aspects of that, but most of the Thais are pretty honest. And you know, I've known a lot of bar girls have helped out guys when they've been down on their luck. Yeah, when the guy's flush with cash and he's coming into the bars and he's missed a big time, yeah, they'll try and get every penny they can out of you. But I've seen it many, many times where guys have lost everything, either to a girl who's fleeced him or something's gone wrong in his life and he's ended up with nothing. And these girls have stepped in and bought food and, you know, really looked after the guy. So, you know, there is two sides to every story, isn't there? Right. Okay, let's move on. Thank you, Joyce Romer. That's very kind of you. I'm thirsty. I tell you what it is. I've been on this diet for 3.5 weeks and I decided to treat myself today. I met a guy called Daniel and we went to the Al Hussein and I'm into these wraps. You know, they do these chicken tikka wraps with onions and sauce. And I thought, I'm going to treat myself. I haven't had carbohydrates for 3 weeks, but unfortunately I've done it on the same day I'm doing a stream. So I'm drinking water now and I think my voice is going. Right. Good couple of stories, those, weren't they? I especially like the one about the Australians there. Let's see what you guys think about it. Let's go back. Okay, I'm going to start with... Okay, we spoke to Sophia, didn't we? Naughty boy. Huggy Bear, where would you go if you left Bangkok? I've answered that one. Triangle Hat, the pollution in Saigon is rotten. I was there for 3 years and then left for the beach towns after 17 years and never gone back to Saigon. It's one of the downsides of a city. Don't get me wrong, I love Bangkok. It's such a vibrant city. It's got everything you could wish for. But, you know, you've only got one body. You know, you've got to keep healthy, haven't you? And unfortunately, it's very dangerous. Damon, Peter, Nick's not doing a stream today as Martin is sick and in hospital. Hope he gets better soon. Yeah, okay. Thanks for the news, Damon. I don't watch a lot of their stuff, so I didn't know. Naughty boy, December, right? Life is a journey. Let's put that up there. Hi, Peter. How you doing? Recently, Dubai had a flood. Yeah, spoke about that. Any impact on Thailand? I heard you say in one of the videos it is unusually hot this year. That's it, basically. Yeah, I read the story. You know, Dubai had, what was it, a year's worth of rain in a day. You know, they didn't have streets, they had rivers. And we're very, very hot, but the rainy season hasn't started yet. Okay, Randy, thank you. Right, Aussie Rules. Peter, good vlog about another compliment. I've got to put this up there. Good vlog about the BTS and the MRT top-up cards. Avoid long lines at ticket stations. Yeah, if you haven't seen that video yet, I did a video like you can get if you're over 60, you can get a card on the MRT that lasts for 7 years. And I won't do it all again because you can watch a video, but basically you get 50% discount. So if you put 500 baht on it, they give you 1,000 baht of credit and you can buy the rabbit card for the BTS, but there's only discount for Thais. And there's a lot of details in that video. Brian Street, afternoon all. Cheers. How you doing, Brian? Sean Jens, Chonburi has the sea still burning hot humidity. Yeah, I heard down there it's still hot. Even you'd think living in a coastal town, you get a nice breeze off the sea, but Sometimes it doesn't always work out like that. Cheese and tomato sandwich. I used to stay at the Unico Express Hotel, not far from you. Think it's called Anya now. Very rundown. Yeah, some hotels they just don't update. They just take as much as they can out of it. Okay, so no one's doing streams today. So Franco says Le Pub is not doing that's Phil in Le Pub, nice guy. He's not doing a stream live because he's just got back from Texas. I believe he went to the location of where JFK was assassinated. He always wanted to go there. Okay, just put that one up there. Dan the Man, it's been so hot, I got sick and dehydrated the other day. Right, okay. Yeah, that's another good point. If you're here, you need a lot of water. But the good thing is the 7-Elevens everywhere. Water's like 10 baht, isn't it? Chino, is it? Greetings from SF USA. I'm not sure what SF is. It San Francisco? But good to have you in the stream. Thanks for joining. Nearly 300 in now. Toby Price. I stayed at home all of Songkran, ordered a load of food online and cabined up. You and me both. Honestly, that's what I did. I got a load of beers in, load of food in. I'm really lucky. And where I live here, there's a great, nice, big swimming pool on the roof. So I just threw myself into editing and stuff, watched a bit of TV in the evenings. I made sure I went up and did a half an hour in the pool, cooked the food at home, 3 days and went. But I got kind of stir crazy on the third day. So I thought, you idiot, Peter, you've got a car. So I went out in the car and I went to Lotus and I spent 3 hours looking around Lotus, department store, Mr. DIY, which is a big home base. They sell tools and everything for the house. And then I went to Decathlon. I managed to spend 3 hours there. It was great. And then I come back in the car and there was no traffic, not even going up to Asok. But coming into my soy where I live, I had to just nudge the car forward ever so slowly because people are all over the street, and you can't just mow them down. You have to go easy, Right, Naughty Boy says, during Songkran, come to Australia, much cooler here at that time of year. I've always wanted to visit Australia, but I've heard it's very, very expensive now. I think if I won't have been out of Thailand for 2 years, so I think I'd like to try something closer to home that I haven't tried before, like Vietnam, but I'm not sure if Vietnam have Songkran. If you're the guy who's living in Vietnam, do they have Songkran? Are you still there? Can you let me know? Prince Fergus, I don't watch other story channels because there is no comparison. Why go somewhere else when you're already watching the best? You're great, Peter. Oh, thank you. That's right. I'm getting all the nice compliments. I can feel my head growing. It's about an inch wider than when I started this stream. Okay, thank you. Super Bro, Songkran is an important holiday and it's fun, but don't be a grumpy old man. Yeah, that's easy to say, isn't it, when you've probably done it once or twice, but when you've been here for 30 years and you've gone out and done it maybe a dozen times, it does get, the varnish starts to peel after a while. I'm definitely not a grumpy old man. Paul Hoskin, I don't, if other people do it, I don't condemn it. I don't say they're childish. It's the Thai New Year, okay? So it's like our New Year. It's a very, very important holiday. They celebrate, they have a lot of fun. Tourists who come here for the first time or the second time, it's a great experience for them. I would highly recommend anybody who's here at Songkran to go out and experience. But when you've done it 101 times, it just gets to the point where here we go again, and it's nothing to do with being a grumpy old man, although I suppose I am at times, but it's just my decision now in this time of my life. Paul Hoskins, can't you wear an armband saying not to throw water over me during Songkran? That's like sticking a target. That's like going onto a firing range, Paul, and sticking a target on your chest and saying, don't shoot. They'll all be popping off. No, if you're a foreigner, they love to, you don't want water on you. You'll be the first to get water on you. Right. Sean says, I usually go back to America during Songkran, got stuck here this year. Next year, I will go to your UK. I like the way you say your UK. Just watch yourself, Sean. In some of the big cities, it can be quite dangerous now, especially London. Mayor Khan, he's not done anything to bring down crime. In fact, it's gone up so high now. I think most normal people are kind of afraid to go out at night. I certainly feel a lot safer here in Thailand at 3 o'clock in the morning than I would in London at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, you're still not going to get away from that pollution, Paul. The end of the line, the end of the BTS line. Naughty Boy, Paul Hoskin. Okay, you're talking to someone else. Right, Andrew Holmes. The problem with the water festival, as they take it too far, it should only be 3 days. It's ridiculous now. People in Pattaya ruin it for everyone. The majority, they've taken it too far now. Do you know what? Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's a 3-day festival and people just want to have fun. But it does go on too long in Pattaya. It goes on for about 2 weeks. And there's guys who land and they're only here for 2 weeks or 3 weeks and they've got no idea about Songkran. And can you imagine, you come to Thailand, you've got your T-shirt, your shorts, you go out and you get out, you've done your hair and a little bit of Old Spice down the front there. And, you go out and you're going to have a few drinks and a few talk with the ladies and everything, and somebody throws a bucket of water over you after you just step outside your hotel, and that goes on for 2 weeks. It must be infuriating, but the Thais are that's what they do. That ties into a nice story. Another this is Farang's behaving badly, and it is a Songkran story, and I've got a photo of this one. Let's see what we got here. Okay, right, I've got a photo and I'll read out a story for you, okay? It's pretty self-explanatory as soon as you see the photo, actually. Which one is it? Okay, there we go. Okay, not a great photograph, but I think you can see the guy on the left is making his attack and the guy with the green water pistol is about to slam it down. So the story goes, 2 foreigners had a dispute after one became upset after being sprayed with a water gun on Patong Beach, Phuket. Phuket Songkran event was held on, I can't name that road, Pattaya Beach, having many Thai and foreign tourists participating in a water fight. However, a civil defense volunteer reportedly told Phuket local police that he witnessed a shirtless foreigner who rode a motorbike taxi to Patpong Beach. After that, a black shirt foreigner allegedly water gunned the motor taxi driver, but the shirtless foreigner was not hit. The situation escalated and the shirtless foreigner was infuriated and threw punches at the black shirt foreigner. It's comical. It further added that his friend tried to stop the dispute, but was unable to do so. Police stated the incident was considered closed as neither man had filed legal charges or reports. I mean, come on, how ridiculous is that? You're in a city where Songkran's been, Songkran is out on the streets. Everyone's throwing water. On what planet do you come from when you think you're going to go out and not get wet? And the guy didn't have a shirt on anyway. You don't start throwing punches at people, do you? Ridiculous. Right. Okay, let's get back. Right. Are Russians a big problem in Bangkok? I understand that the deputy police chief has been seen socializing with them. I won't get into politics too much and talk about the police, but what I will say is they have become quite a problem in Phuket, and the police are cracking down on them now. There's about 92 have been deported already, because what they're doing, they're coming over here and they're setting up businesses and they're having ties. It's like a proxy business. So it looks like Thais own it, but actually the Russians do things like travel agents, tours. And the Thais down there, they don't like it because, if a Russian tour group come and they book with a Thai company, then they speak the same language and the Thais lose out. So yeah, there's a lot of trouble in Phuket at the moment. There was a guy doing a yoga class. He got caught. Another lady had a kindergarten and, she was Russian, or I don't know. I don't think she was Russian. She's just another foreigner. But, there's a lot of them there now. And of course, prices are going up because they're buying all the condos and all the apartments and everything. And, there's even been a mafia influence coming in now into Phuket, and the police are good down there. People say things about the police, but they are doing a good job and they've set up a team. It's got so bad down there that the actual the legal system, if that's what you want to call it, they've now set up a court to hear cases only for foreigners for the first time. So they've set up this court and it's only for foreigners. So that tells you, I wouldn't say just Russians. I would say, there's a lot of foreigners in Thailand now who are not behaving properly. And I told you a few weeks ago what I've noticed from years ago. People used to come here, they were happy, they come here to eat good food, get holiday girlfriends, and they were happy. There's a lot of these guys on testosterone, this thing I mean, and they walk down the street with invisible carpets, you know what I mean, walking along like this, and you look at them and they're almost ready to like smack you in the face, and you think, what the heck's going on here? You've paid an air ticket to come and live in a great country, and here you are giving it the He-Man. It's ridiculous. I'm not going to repeat the story, but there was a guy in 7-Eleven wanted to fight me. I'm 64, for God's sake. Luckily nothing happened with that. But anyway, Larry says women can be mongers as well. They can, but they tend to go out to West Africa, don't they, to do their mongering. Right, Thomas Wynn, same behavior in similar places all around the world. Ronald, hello from Melbourne. I must be well behind here. Hang on, where are we? Oh, I'm well behind. I'm gonna skip some of these comments. Sorry, guys. Come in again later because otherwise I'll get so far behind. It just gets silly. Right. Let me start with Ronald. So why does everyone have to get soaked at Songkran? It's a traditional ceremony. They don't go. The tradition was not to go out with water pistols. You go. It's really hard to explain. I know what it is, but basically you'd have elders sitting in chairs, and then the other people, to show their mark of respect, would go and pour water on their hands or feet. So it's something like that. And then it grew into what it is today, but it's actually a religious festival. It's New Year, actually. Colin Moore, I've been told Vietnam is dirty. Not sure, though. I've never been. Same here. I haven't been here. Just get rid of something there. Right. Andy Holmes, it really frustrates me, the people in patio. I don't know why they celebrate it so long. It's over a week. It's actually 2 weeks. Now it's ridiculous. People need to grow up. It should only be for 3 days. No opinion on that, but only that. It does seem kind of long. Colin Moore, the water is making you pure again for the new year. Okay. And something else with those Songkran festivals, I've known people to get rashes and like bad eyes because some of the water isn't clean, and you can get, look what happened to Andrew Hammond. He got, in India, some kids were throwing water balloons, one exploded in his chest, and he had to go back to England to go to a hospital, have an operation because he got this real bad infection. That's not really the reason I don't do it anymore, but it's just another point, isn't it? Jason Finch, you asked that question last week, I think, didn't you? Where's Marley? Where's Marley? She's working. She's very, very busy. Hard to get hold of her now. Thai Billy Boy, I like Vietnam. Ho Chi Minh, Da Nang, Hoi, and really nice place. Once you master crossing the roads, that's an experience. Yeah. Something else somebody told me. Yeah, I did say thank you to Joyce Roma Franco for when he actually did the what do you call it? The super chat there. So I'm checking Franco in the background there, because he tells me off if somebody gives me a super chat and I don't say thank you, he's on me, he's writing to me, and I heard him come in there. Let me just read out a comment I got from a guy called David, which is quite interesting. So, everybody's talking about this tax now, this new tax for foreigners. I'm not going to get into the whole tax thing, but it's just an idea. If you're living here and you have to bring money to a Thai bank, it was just an idea he had. That's something he'd done to reduce the amount of money he brings into Thailand. So it just reduces the amount of money coming into Thailand. So he says, hi, Peter. Hope you are well and enjoyed your Songkran and birthday. Birthday was okay. I'm a regular viewer of your live stream and other vlogs. You're doing a great job. Thank you. I've been in Bangkok now about 7 weeks. And I'm still getting settled about cash management. I seem to have found a good solution for reducing the need to bring cash into Thailand and therefore avoid the potential new tax issue. Are you listening? Right. It's only short. Essentially, I'm using my US credit card to pay as many daily expenses as possible. Groceries at Big C and Tesco, monthly gym fees, monthly internet and cell plan. Of course, I have to pay cash where required. But if credit card payment is possible without the seller passing along their 3% credit card fee, see, I've not heard of that, only in England, only in the US. I will use my US credit card. All balances concerning my credit card are paid off in the US from the US bank account. Key point, my US credit card does not incur any foreign transaction fees. That's a kicker. That's what gets most people, right? Maybe Apple Card also does not incur a foreign transaction. Then he updated me with another email tonight. And he says, an additional strategy is to pay your rent through TransferWise. So at the moment, I pay my rent directly from the Bangkok bank. It comes every month by direct debit. It goes from Bangkok bank straight to the person who owns this apartment, right? And what he's saying here, well, I'll read it out. An additional strategy is to pay your rent through transfer from your overseas bank account to the landlord's Thai bank account by Wise. This will help minimize the amount of cash you need to transfer into your Thai bank account for monthly expenses, which might be one of the reporting data points the Thai tax office might use to determine how much cash you transferred into Thailand. We'll be listening to the live stream. Well, I hope you heard that, David. Thank you. It's good information. So I think, yeah, there's a good point. So you know, if you're one of those lucky people who can use a credit card, I know somebody else who they can use a credit card. Like this guy taps his Visa card on the BTS. He doesn't have to buy a ticket, and any charges he gets back from his bank. So if you can spend on a Visa here and it just comes straight out of your foreign currency account and you don't get charged any 3% or any exchange rate, that's great. But for most of us, we can't do that. But I do like the idea about paying directly from Wise. So I've got to see if I can set up a direct debit. So instead of the money coming to the Bangkok bank, then it goes to my landlord. It goes from my UK account to Wise and then directly to my landlord. So some good information there. Right. Okay. Thai Billy Boy. Okay. I've just read that. Right. Peter Hamilton. Thai wife had enough in Koh Samui at 40 degrees today. She has bought a ticket to head to home in Singapore. Thai wife also fed up with Songkran, people drunk being idiots and motorbike accidents. Yeah. Talking of idiots and motorbike accidents, this is unbelievable. If I can find it. Okay. Right here. This is just totally unbelievable. Talk about, let me just say thanks. And I can recognize from the picture, this is Rob. Rob, you're a superstar. Thank you very much, mate. That's a cuppa. I'll be having a few beers on that one, and I'll be thinking of you. Cheers, Rob. I love it. Okay, so let me just go back to this story, and then we'll go back up to where are we? There's some quite interesting comments here, and I don't want to have to lose them. I want to come back to them. Okay, right, I'm gonna have to start from there. All right, so. This is a 2 months old story, but I just came across it today and I thought, what an idiot. Okay. Right. So there's a Canadian guy. Yes, it says yesterday, but it's a month ago. Okay. Or 2 months ago. So a Canadian yesterday got drunk. He rode his scooter on the wrong side of the road. And so he's drunk and he's on a scooter and he's on the wrong side of the road. Right. Let me just get rid of that. Okay. And he crashed into a Thai person, sending him to the hospital with a broken arm and a broken leg. Okay, so the guy's pissed on his scooter, crashes into a Thai person who's walking down the road, breaks his arm, breaks his leg. Okay, the police kindly didn't charge him. They didn't charge him with being drunk and driving. They didn't charge him with reckless driving, anything. So the police kindly didn't charge him on condition he paid $3,000 okay, towards hospital bills, the 2 scooters he totaled, and time off work for the Thai whilst he recovered. Instead, he posted on social media asking how he can flee the country with his confiscated passport and avoid paying. He immediately deleted his post after some Thais threatened to report his Reddit account to Bangkok police. Absolutely disgusting behavior. $3,000 might sound a lot, but I can tell you now, the cost of 2 brand new motorcycles, you're looking now, just your standard Honda Click 125, you're looking somewhere in the region for 2 of them, about 160,000 baht, okay? Which is, you can work it out in dollars. The guy's he's going to be off work for, I don't know how long a limb takes to heal, but it's got to be 6 months, right? 3 months or 6 months before he goes back to work. And they're not charging him, and he's asking people, how can I escape Thailand? Absolutely disgusting behavior. Okay. Thomas Wynn, UK, is a joke. Illegal refugees sleep in 5-star hotels and locals end up in the streets. Don't get me started on this one, Doc. Okay, I'm going to skip that because I'll go off on one. Right, Mianoi. Them blokes with invisible carpets under their arms are known as Johnny Bravos. I love that name, Johnny Bravos. And if you just joined us, the invisible carpets. You know, they walk down the street. Johnny Bravos, pumped up. Look at me, I'm hard as nails. Right, Toby Price. During Songkran many years ago, I threw some water and I hit a man. He threw a chair at me. I had to pin him down to the deck until the bouncers sorted out. Yeah, some people don't like it, but it's a bit overkill, isn't it? You think to yourself, you're in a foreign country, the Thais are all happy being friendly, and you get squirted with water. Okay, that's what happens on Songkran. You know, you don't throw chairs at people. There's a name I can't pronounce. I think the ones who enjoy Songkran should keep enjoying it and not get judged. That's a fair point. Andrew Vesin, hello. I hope I pronounced your name right. Okay, I'll put that up there for a minute. Thomas says, people should remember the native Indian story about children learning from parents when it comes to taking care of their own parents. That's one thing I like about Thailand, the whole family situation, you know, the family look after family. There's no, you know, they take care of each other. Right, Peter Hamilton. Songkran Buddhist festival, but now taken over for commercial reasons and tourism, but too many road and motorbike accidents in Isan in particular. Do you know what's amazing is the amount of people who are killed on the roads during Songkran? You can look it up on Google. It's a crazy number. You know, there's this 3-day festival. People are happy. They're having fun. The amount of road deaths, it's unbelievable, you know, every year. Pure Telsa, is it? Hi, Peter. New to the channel. Love your stories and videos. Good, Telsa. Good to have you in. Thank you, mate. Yeah, I agree with that. I'll leave that up on screen there. Andy Holmes again. Hello. I really only use my iPhone for most things. It won't let me join to be a member. Does anyone else get this problem? There's no join button. If you go to my website, there is a join button on my website, and you should be able to join from there. It's that without the consultation on the end, okay? And you don't even have to put the www in. Just put thailand-bound.com and then just follow the link to membership. It's not really a big website. I don't ever add anything to it. I just, when I started the channel, I thought it'd be nice to have a website run alongside it, you know. But there is, you know, the Ladyboys, they had the big, when they had the Ladyboy fight here, the Filipino and Thais. Well, if you go to my website, the first page, I do have that video where they're fighting on Soy 11. It's on my website. I couldn't put it up here on YouTube. But I shouldn't have told you that because a lot of people left the stream now. But never mind, we'll press on. Okay. Super Bro, it's a shame that you're missing some excellent comments because you skip ahead to the super chats and then lose your place. I do skip across to the super chats because I like to say thank you, but I always come back and remember where I was before. But the problem is I get so far behind in the chat that what I'm talking about isn't relevant anymore because the person's probably thought, well, he's not going to read my chat. I'm like 20 minutes behind in the chat, sometimes half an hour. So sometimes I have to skip forward. It's not that I forget. Okay, Gary G says, any funds you benefit from here in Thailand paid for with a credit card or even a wise transfer is taxable in Thailand. But I think David was kind of he was kind of emphasizing about the amount of money you bring to the bank, because I think it's the bank that does the reporting to the tax office. So obviously, if you bring in 100,000 baht as opposed to say 20,000 baht, it's a lot less, isn't it? You can read between the lines there. Okay, so how much is a baht? Well, so you've obviously come in a bit late there. So there you go. There's the some currencies there for you to look at. Okay, Andrew, I said that last week. The only thing that scares me about Thailand is the motorbikes. They really are deadly. You know, I've said this a lot as well. I ride a scooter, a Honda Click here. I go everywhere on it, okay? I've got a car, but I only use it to go out of town because trying to drive a car around the Nana, Sukhumvit, Asok, Rama 4, it's hell in a car. You just like stop, start. On a motorbike, you can get about, I go to Foodland shopping, I go up to Villa on Soy 11, I'll go to Lotus on Rama 4. So I go everywhere on it. I go to Villa on Soy 33, and there's a restaurant I eat there. Sometimes I have a passenger on the back, but it's all about taking it easy and just, I've ridden bikes all my life, and it's just about, just assume somebody's going to pull out of that street. Just assume when you go past a parked taxi that somebody's going to open the door, so you've got to be ready to take evasive action. I've nearly come a cropper twice on my scooter, and it really taught me a lesson. Once I was on the junction, a very, very busy junction, and the bikes were continuing to go, and I didn't look at the traffic light, and I didn't realize it had changed because it was new. And I was looking at my sat nav, and all these bikes started coming towards me, and some Thai guy at the front shouted something at me. That was one. And then the other one, I was whizzing down Soy 11. I turned right, to go on to Soy 13, and I forgot that was a little road that comes out, and I went flying onto 13, and this van pulled out in front of me. How I managed to not hit him, I don't know. But since those incidents, I think what it was, I got a little bit overconfident, because when you get a bike out here for the first time, you're very, very, you go gingerly, you take it easy, and as you ride it, the more you ride it, the more confident you get, and in the end you're throwing it around like the Thais do, and then you're at great risk of an accident. But if you can hold back, like, I'm glad I had those two near misses, because now I'm not I ride it normally, but I'm very, very cautious. I always imagine, okay, someone's going to pull out of that street, he's not going to let me in, that taxi door is going to open. And so far, touch wood, I've been riding it for over a year now, and so far so good. Okay, let me get rid of these now. It's been on long enough, hasn't it? Right, if you've just come into the stream, welcome guys. Over 300 in now. That's good. There's a few people not doing streams today. Okay, Toby Price. The highest fatalities on the road this year was Chiang Rai. I was surprised. I thought it would be Bangkok. There's a lot of people go out. A lot of traffic leaves Bangkok during Songkran. The roads to Isan, they're just chock-a-block, because a lot of people who work in Bangkok, they come from Isan, especially people who work in the entertainment industry, people who work in waitresses, cashiers, things like that. So they go back for Songkran because it's their new year. And it's amazing. Like I said earlier in the stream, I drove over from Rama 4. No traffic. I mean, there's traffic, but I didn't get held up even at Asok. Just whizzed through and come home, Super Bro, is that Terminal 21 behind you? It is. It is. But it is a picture. It's not the real. The real Terminal 1 is about 10 minutes up that way. Okay. I'll put that up there. I'm not sure what you're talking about there. Stephen Hill, hi there. People just joined the stream. Don't forget to hit the like button. Yeah, thank you, Stephen. That's always a good comment. Speedy Panda, Peter, you're riding a scooter is easy for you. You learned in the UK. Most people are not. They are used to drive on the right side of the road. That's a good point. We drive in the left-hand side in the UK, and they drive on the left-hand side here. Especially, I've met Americans here who said, "God, you're so lucky because we have to think about it because we drive on the right-hand side." Yeah, that's one element to it, and the other element is, yes, you're right. A lot of people have never driven a scooter or a motorbike, and that's a lot of them do have accidents because they're. I'm reading comments at the same time as I'm speaking. What happens, especially in a place like Pattaya or there's a lot of deaths in Phuket, actually, from what I call born again bikers. They had bikes when they were, 20, 21. Family comes along, they get married, family comes along, they can't afford the bike anymore. They get rid of it. They go on holiday to Phuket 25, 30 years later. I remember my bike, and they get a Harley or something, go whizzing up some mountain hill, and they just, something pulls out of them, and that's it. Good night, Vienna. It's a terrible thing. But yeah, good point. Okay. Okay, thanks. A lot of people saying smash the like button there. It's always good for the YouTube algorithm. Do you have a Thailand bound helmet, Peter, when you ride your bike? I've got Thailand bound cap, but they're really expensive. Sean, hope all is well. Enjoy. Yeah, very hot here at the moment, Sean. Super Bowl, pause the stream for 2 minutes, please, Peter. I just want to make some toast. I'll be that quick. You have to catch up, I'm afraid. Aussie rules. For Songkran, Thais also brush a little talc paste on the face of others, a sign of good luck. I've seen some foreigners who look like they've been dipped in cake batter. And you know what? It's true. The police are such good sports here. That's how we say it in the UK. I mean, they really go along with it. I've seen videos from Pattaya where the police are there to control the crowds, but people are going up, they get wet and they go up to the police and they put the powder on their face and the police are smiling and, there's no sort of bad feeling and, it's all done in good fun and it's good. Okay. A little bit of a football score there from Deke. I'm not a footballer myself, but thank you for the score. Jesse, it's not that bad being on the left side. What's terrible is the signals and wipers being inconsistent. I drove a Subaru in Phuket and a Honda in Bangkok. Signals on right in the Subaru, is it? Yeah, and signals on the right in the Honda. There's little inconsistencies like that. Funny thing, there's no heater in the cars here. Well, it's not in mine anyway. There's a good air condition, but why would you want a heater? But it's not something you realise until you actually buy a car here. Paul, the answer to that is no, mate, none at all. I'm not really a sporty person. Right, Toby Price. I love a few days in Bangkok, but could not stay there full time. It's also expensive compared to other locations. Get yourself somewhere more chill. Well, there's reasons I can't move right now. I've got commitments. I will move sometime in the future, but I can see not at least for a year. I don't want to get into my commitments too much, but there's things here that keep me here. Nice things, but you know, I'm not ready for a move yet, but I'd like to one day. Steve Ford, remember 20 years ago, there were too many Farangs with motorbike exhaust burns on their legs, Thai tattoo. That doesn't happen anymore. Well, you're right. I remember that, but they have covers on them now, these plastic covers. So even if you do touch the exhaust, you don't get burned. Right. I'm going to go back and read some of these older, I don't know, they might not be relevant now because I've managed to get finally to the end of the comments. So let's take it from where Rob did that super chat there. Okay, so Thomas, it must be so heartbreaking feeling abandoned in them homes. Got all the time in the world to think about it. Must just get more painful each day. I hope it never happens to me. Are you talking about like nursing homes, like when you get old? There's some great nursing homes here in Chiang Mai. In fact, there's some UK families are bringing their elderly here because the care is much cheaper, but they are really cared for. You know the attitude that Thais have towards elders, and they have a real one-on-one nurse. And there's a couple of places up in Chiang Mai, and some people have brought their elderly parents there, and they're not kind of dumped them there. They want them to be cared for, and they're great. The Thais are great at looking after the elderly. They don't just do what they've got to do, and then we've all seen these videos from hidden cameras in care homes in the UK, Australia, and America, and some abuse goes on. They're not looked after properly. I'm not saying everybody, but it does happen. But here, the Thais, the carers, it's a nurse, and it's a one-on-one. And I've seen the nurses, they're playing chess or draft or cards with the old people, and they take them around the gardens, and they really care for them. There's some real it's a job, but they do a great job. And as I said, the Thais, they do look up to the older people. I mean, that's if you're over 60 here, that's one thing you've got on your side. I do get, people of around 30 to 40. They're very respectable towards me, because I'm an old fogey now, aren't I? Right. Danny, in theory, transactions and withdrawals using credit cards for Thai baht payment account as a transfer into Thailand if they check, but who knows really. We have to wait and see what happens, because there's a lot of information on the Thai on the website for the tax. There's a tax office in Soy 11, really close to me. But will they go running after people and knock it? I think what will happen myself, I think the information will be passed from the bank to the tax office, and they might drop you an email and say, look, come in and see us, we need to talk to you. And then then what happens? But you have to pay tax everywhere in the world, right? I think they were mainly targeting the high earning Thais who used to defer their income for a year, so they got out of paying taxes. And I think that's the main reason they brought this in. It's not necessarily for foreigners. That's originally what I think they were targeting. A big thank you goes out to Rick Barman, is it? Rick Berman. Thank you, Rick. Very generous of you. I'll get a couple of beers. Thank you. And it was just, like I say, it was targeting the rich Thais, the high earning Thais rather. Right. Okay. I'm trying to find some I missed out, something interesting as well. Thai Billy Boy, have a look at Sterling Bank debit card from the UK, Peter. There are no percentage bank fees and top-up currency exchanges rates when you use it. Instant notifications on your phone when used. Okay, some good information there. Jesse, haha, Johnny Bravo. Anyone remember that cartoon? That's a pretty good representation of many guys who go to Thailand. I'm talking about the guys with invisible carpets under their arms, Where are we? Okay, so I think I'm pretty much up on the comments there. There's a lot of people in the chat. They talk to each other. I'm trying to find comments that are kind of interesting that I can read out. Okay, Bryan Street. I'm West Ham, but won't mention the score. Okay. Like I say, I've never really been I'm a bit strange like that. I've never ever been into football, or the Americans call it soccer. It's just one of those things. It's very unusual for a guy from the UK not to like. I don't really like any sports like rugby, cricket. We used to get made to do it at school, and I hated it. Okay, Ram Mitty, is it? Is it safe to get a traditional sky? Funny enough, you should mention this. I know exactly what you mean. I just can't pronounce it. Just worried about the needles. Okay, so you're talking about the hand done tattoo. Well, I do know a guy, Daniel. Actually, he literally explained the process to me today, and I nearly stopped eating my kebab. He went, and it's a famous temple. Don't ask me the name, I can't remember. But there's a famous temple about an hour and a half away from central Bangkok where they do these hand tattoos on the back, But he said this, there's a. I don't want to tell you the whole story because it took him about 20 minutes to tell me. But is it safe? Okay. The sanitary conditions weren't great, put it that way. But he got one done and he's fine. You'll have to. There's not enough room. I haven't got enough time here to explain it fully. Is it safe? I don't know anybody who's got sick from it. The guy Daniel had a big one on his back, done with the traditional that word you're saying there. He'd be the guy. If you want me to put you in touch with him, send me an email address and I'll forward it to Daniel and he can tell you the procedure. Okay. Right, Jay-Easy, can you elaborate on the nice things keeping you in Bangkok? I'll do that in the members stream, okay? Because some of it's quite personal. And, when I do a regular stream, there's trolls and armchair critics and idiots out there. Most guys here are okay, but I'll say something and somebody will come in and write a stupid comment. In the members area, I can say a lot more because everybody in there it's a community, isn't it? It's you can't get these armchair critics and trolls just come in because only members can leave comments. If they're not a member, you can't leave a comment. And I do tend to talk a little bit more about personal things. Okay, so I will mention why I'm tied to Bangkok in the members stream, and there's a lot of members in here tonight, so I'm back on at 11:15. I'll finish about 10:30, back on at 11:15, then I'll talk about all that things. Just while we're in it, I'll tell you what we've got today. I've got joke of the week, and I've got a manga minute. I've got a few more stories with photographs. I've got the Ladyboy competition again and some more news stories, so plenty to keep everybody entertained. Right, Martin Ryder. Naughty Boy, she's 53, but I'm sure that would be okay. I'm not sure what that conversation's about. Over 50, no problem. I'm going back. What was that about? Over 50. Can I put my wife in a care home in Thailand? Okay. Okay. I'm sure she's very nice, Martin. I'm sure she's not that bad, or you wouldn't have married her. Speedy Panda. We in Germany say barbed wire instead of carpets under the arms. Okay. Yeah. You know what I mean, though, don't you? I love that name, Johnny Bravo. That's a good name. It's a patty you see a lot of them. You walk along Walking Street, or say just before Walking Street on the beach road there, and they won't give the pavement up. Sometimes if somebody's walking towards you, you'll step aside, right? I do it all the time. When you get to 64, you've got no choice but to step aside. But, you'll get these guys and they just won't move. You've got to move because they've got the carpets under on there. You know who they are. You probably see them all the time. Okay. Toby Price, you won't pay tax on income and money if your country has a tax treaty with Thailand. You will not be taxed twice. Yeah, but that's if you can prove that money has already paid tax. So if you've got savings and the tax office asks you to come in for an interview and they say, look, you brought all this money, and you say, well, I've already paid tax on it, they'll want proof of that. Yeah, you're right. There is a treaty, and if you paid tax on it in your own country already, because there's this big argument going around at the moment, because people are saying, well, hang on, I paid tax for the last 30 years. How can I prove I paid tax on it? But for me, for instance, I still do a tax return in the UK and I file it every year. I've got an accountant. So if they ever said to me, we want to see that you've paid tax in your own country, I can just print off the top copy and say, there you go, and I'm fine. So yeah, you're right. There is a treaty, but they will want to see that you'll have to prove you've paid tax on it. Prince Fergus, if Marley is constantly unavailable and can be stressful to work with, why not find a different girl to do videos with? No, I mean, maybe that came out the wrong way the last time I was talking to her. I wouldn't change her because she's a character, but she's very, very busy, and she's not cheap. I don't want to say anything more than that. And she's kind of difficult. She can be a handful, but she's a nice girl. She's fairly a good looking girl. She's got a good sense of humor. She doesn't get offended. She gets a joke. And every time I take her out to do a video, she puts a maximum effort in. I took her to Chinatown. She dressed up like a China doll, with hairs like this. I don't know if you've seen that video, a China dress. I took her to, if I say to dress tradition, where was it? We went to a UT. I said, try and dress a little bit traditional. And she came wearing the traditional thing that you wrap around, the silk wrap around that the girls used to wear or on special occasions. So she's very good like that. And she's very confident in front of the camera. But a couple of things. Firstly, it's very difficult to get hold of her because she is very, very popular with these companies. So she'll drop me an email and say, look, I'm free on Tuesday. But a lot of the time I'm not here, or I've already got some kind of project going and I can't use her. So it's just, we have to click at the same time. So that there'll be more videos with her. She's not gone and dusted, as it were. Rami, that would be great. I'll send an email for more tattoo information once we dried up the flood here in my shop in Dubai. Yeah. We were talking about that earlier. Darcy, hi all. How you doing, Darcy? Nice picture there. Mianoi, yeah, the Johnny Bravos swing side to side as they waddle. Yeah, we all know them. Yeah, you said this the last time. You're just winding me up, aren't you, Subro? You said this is a good stream. I'm learning about Taiwan. So this guy on the screen, he left me a comment and he said he asked me something about Taiwan. I said I don't know because I've never been to Taiwan. And he said, well, how come you're making a channel about a country you've never been to? And I kept saying to him, it's Thailand. It's not Thailand. But I've now the penny's dropped. He's winding me up, so I won't address that question anymore. Right, Matthew Alcorn, hope to see you and Marley in a vlog soon. I don't know if I'm going to use her in a vlog again because that is hard work, but we'll certainly do videos. I told you she can be funny. I'll say to her, right, Marley, come down the escalator. I'll stand at the bottom, and as you come down, walk past me, but don't look at the camera. Okay, just walk down. So I want the scene to be like I'm just filming and this girl comes down and walks past me closely, but she doesn't look at the camera. So she's like, yep, got it. Are you sure? Yep. Okay, up you go. And I'll be standing there. I'll be right. Go on then, because we edit it all right. She comes down. So what does she do? She gets like to a foot of the camera and goes, oh, does some funny expression. I'm like, Marley, for God's sake, and she just laughs, You are in very late, Canary Spreads His Wings. Go back because I was whinging about Songkran for about 10 minutes. Right, okay, that's a good question as well. You said, can anyone recommend where in Thailand is best for foreigners to live study and train Muay Thai boxing? They do have these camps. There's a place down in Pattaya that Brian Flowers runs called Rage. You might want to put it into Google. They do the boxing there. That's in Pattaya, Rage. Okay, but they do have certain. I don't know any of them because I've never been into the boxing. There's some big stadiums where you can go and watch it, but you will have to do maybe some guys who are on the stream can give you a few names, and I'll put them up on screen. If anybody knows, if anybody can answer this question, he wants to come and study and train Muay Thai boxing. If you know, put it up and I'll put it up on screen and you can have a look. Okay. Stephen Ford. I watch people do them traditional tattoos out in the sticks in Isan and just use a pack of sewing needles taped to a bit of bamboo. Well, yeah, you're right. And when I didn't realize some of these tattooists are really famous, really famous tattooists, and they learn off like the master, the first one who's now passed away. But I mean, it's something some people. I had all my tattoos removed. I had tattoos when I was when I was young, and I think I've showed you before. I've had them all removed. I had a big one there, and I think you can see the remnants of one there. But I had them done on Ceylon 25 years ago. I had them removed because the thing is, in those days, everybody now I don't like tattoos on girls, but the thing is nowadays, if you see somebody in Thailand who's got a tattoo, you don't think nothing of it. Plenty of people have got tattoos now. But when I first came here, sort of 28 years ago, if you walked down the street in a T-shirt and you had tattoos, people kind of shined away from you. It was almost like you were some kind of Yakuza or something, I'm sure they didn't think that, but they weren't overly friendly if you had a lot of tattoos on you. And I knew I was going to spend a lot of time here, so I decided to have them removed. And the laser wasn't painful. It's the injections, because I don't know how they do it now, but in those days you had to have about 6 injections under the tattoo. They'd bend the needle, and you know, it was horrible. But I'm glad I had them removed. You can still see remnants of them, but that's my fault, because I should have gone back 12 times. I went 10 times instead. Clive, how are you doing? Good to see you in the stream. Been a while. Hey, Peter, how are you, matey? I'm doing well. Are you still with that nice Filipino girl you were with a while ago? Okay. The one, just getting back to Marley there, the one thing I do like about doing the videos with Marley, she gives me the opportunity to do a fantastic blooper set at the end. It doesn't matter. We did the IT Fortune Mall, we did the Mekong River, we did Chinatown, we did a Utia together, we did cheap hotels to stay around Nana Plaza, close to Nana Plaza. So we've done quite a few videos, and she's great. You know, she is a character. You know, she is really funny to do. But you know what? I might try and get her this week. Maybe do one on Wednesday with her. It's a whole day with Marley. It's like, oh, here we go. But what I do like about making videos with Marley, I'm able to do that blooper section at the end, and a lot of people seem to like that on the videos. Okay, right, Scott, how you doing? Greetings, everyone from Chicago. Beautiful yet chilly day here. 10:20 in the morning. Good, you could join us live, Scott. 12 hours behind. We're in the midst of spring cleaning, organising Thailand bound with family in July. Good stuff. You don't want to be here at the moment because it's really hot, Scott. I was talking about it earlier. It's uncharacteristically, did I say that right? I haven't even had a beer yet. It's just so hot. It's about 39, 40 degrees. It's normally around 33, 34, 36 max. And it's just, you go out in the afternoon, it's just a killer. So the rainy season is on the way. So hopefully that'll bring the temperatures down. But the humidity never leaves, never leaves. Typical Brit moaning about the weather. But I'm sure you'll have it, whatever the weather, you'll have a good time in Thailand with the family. Clive, I won't put that up, but she doesn't do that, mate. Honestly, I know you're only joking, but she honestly doesn't do that. Not that I know of, anyway. Well, she's got too much work. She does a lot of exhibition halls and things. Old Fogey, the outtakes were funny with Marley. Yeah, they really were. They do take quite a while to put together as well, because you've got to find them, obviously. So you edit the video like normal, and then normally that would be right. That's the video done. But I've then got to go back and do a second video and look for the funny parts, you know. But she really takes over. Yeah, not sure about that. We'll see how the comments go. URL Drode Superbot. I read a lot of news and comments about air pollution in Thailand. Do you have respiratory problems or your other older friends? At the moment, I don't. And I was talking about this earlier because it's, you know, the PI levels are so high now, nearly 200 today. The safe levels in Europe is 35. It's 50 here in Thailand. And I like to walk in the park for an hour each day, you know, just to get the old blood circulating, and it is old blood. And it does concern me, you know, it does concern me because I've heard about people in London who live near quite high pollution areas, and a little girl last year died of pollution, you know, and it concerns me. I'm not overly worried, but it does concern me. So, yeah, we'll have to see. I'll maybe make that move. But before we make the move, I've got to say a big shout out to Anton. They're very generous of you, Anton. So Anton's gifted 5 people tonight a membership. So if your name has gone green, you are now a member, and you've got Anton to thank for that. I don't know. YouTube I don't know how they give them out, but 5 people who are in here tonight are now members who weren't 5 minutes ago. So very, very generous of you, Anton. It will last for a month. If you want to continue, you will have to, you know, do it every month, as it were. But we'll see you in the members stream tonight. That's good stuff. 5 minutes to go on this one. Tight for time now. Right, I've done that. Yeah, plenty of stuff still to go later on. Okay, let's go back to where we left off. Okay, on these Muay Thai camps, good camps in Phuket. Okay. Right, I'm not sure what you mean by that. You just put areas. Oh, okay, there we go. So you put all right. So you put good Thai camps in Phuket, and then you said Rawai or Chalong. Okay, so that'll give you something to go on, and then okay, areas. Okay, right. Okay, thanks for that information, Thomas Wynn. 20 Rothmans. Yes, you can. Make sure you do it well in advance, though. Otherwise, your money gets locked down in the bank. Okay, I've obviously missed that comment. Yeah, okay. So, Clive, yes, I'm going back in Bangkok September. Been a bit of a trek with a leg problem, but I'm almost there. Good stuff. Maybe we can hook up when you're here, Clive. You've been coming in here a lot, haven't you? Julie, how are you? We call them allied carpets in the UK. There's loads. They look ridiculous. Yeah, you know, walking down the street with their arms pumped out. Yeah, they never used to be here, any Julie. There never used to be anything like that. But I had a guy in 7-Eleven. He offered me out. I didn't say anything to him. You know, he was a Geordie, a guy from Northern England, and he was drunk out of his mind. I was paying, and I don't know, he picked on something, I don't know, something, and he just said, "Oh, we can take it outside." And I'm like, "Mate, I'm buying some beers, you know, I'll be out in a minute, you know," but nothing happened. David, I recently stumbled across Marley's TikTok channel, which is rather entertaining. Now I think the algorithm shows me all of them. That's the problem when you watch one video on TikTok. I've got a lot of videos on TikTok, but they're the 1-minute clips that I've got here, so there's nothing new on there. Okay, so Clive, that's not me, Peter. The fake asking about bar fine. Yeah, I realised that already. I wouldn't read that out. Steve, how you doing? A bit late, 3 minutes to go, but good to have you in. Clive, I timed out the fake. Hope you're good. Yeah, because you've got a moderating badge in there. You're a moderator, aren't you? Good stuff. And I think Frankel's there in the background somewhere. Naughty boy, Marley has a few birds on the side. She's got an actual real parrot in her house. She puts videos out about it. Thomas Wynn, just realise those with a wrench next to their names are the moderators. Exactly, yeah. Because there's about 6 I've got on this channel, because not everybody's in all the time. Like Steve's busy, so he's just come in at the minute here. Frankel's in. Chris, I don't think, is in tonight. You know, because you do get idiots. Most guys who come onto the streams, they're pretty nice guys. They're good. Just want to have a chat with other people like-minded about Thailand. But you do get idiots. I've timed out a couple myself tonight. Some of the questions just ridiculous, you know. Okay, good stuff from Cypes123, Speedy Panda, Thomas Wynn, 20 rock. I have to stop touching my nose in the stream. Okay, I'm a big tough guy, and sometimes it's just comfortable to walk that way because of my large muscles. I don't like being ridiculed. Yeah, okay. Whether you are or whether you're not, there are a lot of guys who are not big guys. They actually just walk down the road like that because they think it makes them look tough. So if you genuinely are a big bloke and you walk like that, fair play to you. But most of them aren't. Okay, right. And with that comment, we'll end with a Johnny's in. Okay, all right. Okay, look, guys, I'm going to have to knock it on the head. It's been I hope you've enjoyed the stream. I've enjoyed it. I'll just say, let me just line up my little lady here. Right. Thank you to the moderators, Franco and Steve, and I'm not sure if Chris is in tonight. A very big thank you to everybody who gave me a super chat, and Anton for buying the 5 members there. It's very, very generous of you. And of course, all you guys for joining the stream tonight. I hope it's been fun for you. So just a reminder, I'll be back in 15 minutes for the members stream. Tonight, I've got the Ladyboy competition. I've got the Manga Minute. I've got Joke of the Week. And I've got a few more news articles with stories. So I'll be back in 15 minutes. I've just got to go to the little boys' room and grab a beer, and I'll see you in 15 minutes. Thanks a lot, guys. And if you're not coming into the next stream, have a good week. Okay.